All right, Shalom Akim. First and foremost, as always, I want to give all praises, honor, and the glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Harakakwadash. And of course, as always, double honors to our apostles and our elders that rule well at Great Millstone. Salutations to all you sincere Akim that are preaching this word in all truth and sincerity. All right, so this is just a quick one. All right, the brother GMS Vegas 144 Reloaded uploaded this this lesson. He's going into what this bug out Tazariak is saying. Now, Tazariak is talking about, of course, the John the Baptist situation, how they say that, John the Baptist, fell out the truth or was not in the truth. And he's speaking, here it is in this moment. I'm going to just play it. Let's just roll it back a little bit so you can hear. And what the brother says is, it's, makes a lot of sense.
Israel, because when Nathaniel and them said that Jesus Christ is the God of the Old Testament.
So now he has to point the finger. Well, they're teaching this.
And that's what they do, man. All right, you got all these Israelite groups, okay, outside of, Great Millstone and those that follow the doctrine. And they all have, as I've mentioned and, you mentioned at the camp, they got holes in their doctrine. They got holes, in the doctrine. All right, which their doctrine, is the one that has holes in it. The doctrine that we push, okay, is the doctrine of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And that being said, you can't have guiled. You can't be teaching a lie. Now, the scriptures say that the prophets, all right, the men of the Lord are going to speak the same thing. Okay? You're not going to have the apostles and elders of Great Millstone teaching you that the mark of the beast is a microchip, but then other camps of Great Millstone teaching that it's an embargo or something else. Okay? Now, you do have other Israelite groups that preach the same doctrine that the microchip is the mark of the beast. But then you got the IUIC that'll say all types of things, that it's, sleeping with white women and it is an embargo and, all the heresies they're coming out with. Now ISPK, their members are saying that Christianity is the mark. All right? Which is bugged out. Okay, their leader teaches that, he and his congregation must take the chip in order to survive. Okay, which is, it shows you that, and we're coming down to the wire, all right, of who the true men of the Lord are, the true prophets, and who are false prophets. This is Titus, the first chapter, or Slakia, Titus 1, okay, chapter 1, all right, and verse 7. It says, "For a bishop must be blameless, as the steward of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, not self-willed, not soon angry, not given to wine, no striker, not given to filthy lucre." Okay, so desiring the office of a bishop, which is a You know, it shows that you're rooted, shows that you have wisdom to teach others, shows that you are a factor in this faith of ours. Okay, that's what a bishop is. It's not just some regular proselyte. It's not, you know, some Israelite that might be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. No, that means you're serious. Okay, you got to be blameless. Okay, you don't want brothers or proof videos out there of you, you know, being guilty of being about filthy lucre, which is money, man. Or you're teaching, you know, things contrary to the scriptures, man. Now, all these other Israelite groups that are outside of Great Millstone that don't teach the same doctrine as Great Millstone, all right, they're all guilty of being liars, man, of being false prophets. Okay, they are to blame for Jake being bugged the fuck out. You got the GOCC, okay, and the IACPK talking about not abhorring an Edomite, that Esau, okay, can repent. All right, you got the GOCC over there baptizing Edomites, man. All right, that's bugged the fuck out, man. Okay, you got the IACPK doing these radio shows, these talk shows with Edomites, okay, and not condemning them. All right, here it is, the Edomites right there cracking, laughing at everything you got to say. They don't believe what you're saying. They're right there listening to what you have to say, laughing at your asses, man. So you're guilty of this, man. You're guilty of being about filthy lucre and not about serving the Lord. All right, verse 8, but a lover of hospitality, a lover of good men, sober, just, holy, temperate. And you're not a lover of good men, all right? You're not, you know, out there in unison with the true men of the Lord. You're not a lover of hospitality, okay? You guys are all about fucking camp banging and fighting each other. Okay, you remember that video with ISCPK and IUIC, how they were fucking wrestling out there, and then IUIC called the cops on the ISCPK. They're over there fighting over blocks and shit, man. Okay? Sober, just, holy, temperate. Verse 9, holding fast the faithful word as he had been taught. And you look at the IUIC, their leader, Nate, has not been holding fast the faithful word. Because there's videos out there of him breaking down the 12 tribes chart, of him using the names Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai in the Hebrew. Okay, but now he said you can call the Lord the Most High whatever you want. Okay? Pretty much sweeping the Hebrew under the rug, that it's not important. But the Hebrew, all right, is highly important. Okay, the book of Zephaniah says that the Lord will turn unto us a pure language, so that we may all call upon the true name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai with one consent. All right? It says, holding fast the faithful word as he had been taught, that he may be able by sound doctrine both to exhort and to convince the gainsayers. Okay? We have this wisdom, this knowledge and understanding to exhort one another, okay, and to convince those that don't believe. Okay, because look at Esau, the so-called white man, the fucking devil. All right, he's a gainsayer, but they're starting to believe. Okay, they're going to believe because their asses is going into slavery, man. The elite know that this is true. They wrestle against it. Okay, 2/3 of our people as well, you're of your father, the devil. All right, you're under the vibration of Esau, but in the end, you're going to see it. You're going to know it. okay, after death by pain. Okay, this is the point going into it. Verse 10, for there are many unruly and vain talkers and deceivers, especially they of the circumcision, all right? Very unruly, okay, vain talkers, deceivers, that know that they're Israelites, that know, all right, who we are as a people, that are out there teaching, man. Okay, they're deceiving you people, man. All right, they're telling you that there's no other way but than to get the charagma, the microchip. That if there's another pandemic, epidemic, to trust E's science and to take his jabs, okay, get his boosters. All right, that's fucked up. That's deception, man. That's evil. Okay. It says whose mouths must be stopped. Okay. Your mouths will be stopped. Just like the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai killed that fat nigga Comfy. Okay. Talking about he's the God saying comforter. Well, you guys worship Yohana, those of you of the ISCPK. You say there's no other way but the ISCPK, and everybody has to come under Yohana. All right, the Lord gonna put his ass to death, man. Okay? And then Nate, if Nate don't repent and get his shit together, the Lord gonna kill him too. All right, he gonna start killing you guys, man, at a high rate. All right? Watch when the economy collapses and you can't get nothing to eat, man. All right? You motherfuckers gonna be eating each other, man. Those big ass congregations. Okay, you're gonna have a Hebrew barbecue. Okay, the fucking, you clowns, man, with your Passover fun and your, you Hebrew Israelite chill at the park barbecues. You're going to be barbecuing each other, man. Okay? You're going to be eating each other, man. Each other's kids, man. And the Lord ultimately going to hit you guys that ain't right with missiles, man. That's what it means by whose mouths must be stopped. The Lord going to put you to death. Who subvert whole houses, teaching things which they ought not, for filthy lucre's sake. Ultimately, at the end of the day, that's why you guys are out there with the garments on, man. Because you're getting paid or you're trying to get paid, man. All right, you don't have the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, therefore you can't teach the correct doctrine. All right? The scriptures say only the 144,000 will sing this song, will know the lyrics to this song. Okay, if you guys don't repent, man, it's just obvious that the Lord gonna put you guys to death, man. So with that, all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, B'Shem Harakakwadash. And of course, as always, double honors to our apostles and our elders that rule well. And great millstone, Shalom.